bro, 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 brother, bro. Look who it is. It is Vince Russo doing all the work. The Workers Club. Shape up. Do something for yourself.
You
What's
think?
48 grand a year?
You think he's making that? at
His
JCW?
first job out of college.
Oh, out of college. Well, there
That's
you
48
go.
grand a year right now. In
The inflation
2024.
calculator, Wilson was doubting that was a livable wage
Well,
because
no,
he says
not
not
his
the 14,500 one.
Yeah, whatever. Was that what he said? He made scheming? No, the scheme where he sell the textbooks to the textbook store.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yeah.
calling out that yearly wage was
No.
dubious. Okay.
I was saying that I think that I was like, why is he doing this? It can't be that much of like additional income to make it. I don't know. It seemed also like maybe it was a common practice, so common nobody really cares, but he's presenting it like he's just been, vowed into the mob. That he's part of the pyramid scheme. Workers Club 137. Gus, Larry Wilson. Here we go. What's in the news? Mick Foley's in the news. Everybody's got NBC News. The New York Daily News.
Oh, really? He's been making the national.
Yep, he's been aggregated to. Oh my
Have they trotted out? I can't wait for Trump to like tweet like noted concussion victim or something.
Well, you know what we do have Jack Prosobiec going after
Yeah.
Jim Cornette.
Yeah, that's what we've got now. This a guy inside the Oval Office he's
making Midnight Express double teaming his wife jokes.
Okay, well that's also correct. It's not really a joke, right?
hill grabbing.
Oh man, the administration's gonna love this. This is fucking right up
Newsweek
their
grab.
alley.
Yeah,
At least it's making news. I mean, if
Yeah.
nothing else, it at least might prompt a response. I don't know.
Sami Zayn starting to sweat bullets.
Well, it'll provide distraction for Epstein stuff for another day or two, right?
Yeah.
Mick Foley being attacked by one of the original OG Pizzagate guys. Nice. I don't know. If
So
you're
is
watching-
Mick back in the house? Because I did see a video of him recently, and it looked like he was in the fully decorated Santa room, which I would imagine that would not have come with him to the bachelor residence.
Yeah, I think
Unlike-
that gets there.
Okay.
Together with maybe an arrangement. I'll just add that in my own speculation.
Wow! Holy shit!
I'll give kudos to Mick that last time we saw him, he was doing the to Donald Trump personally YouTube video.
Yeah, that's true.
About.
You know
Yeah,
what?
you know-
He tried to have a civil conversation.
he
You reached out to
warned
him
him.
as a member of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Now is
He's-
Mick going to remove himself from the Hall of Fame?
Paul Levesque will do it out of annoyance that this got picked up by so many outlets.
I thought you'd be louder.
On the
We have to
news.
get into all that.
I don't know. I think they're overplaying. They're doing the thing that they do now, where people said this stinks, and they go, "No, they're not saying it stinks. They're saying Gunther stinks." I'm trying to kind of take a pivot on that. I don't know. Are people hating Gunther? I feel like they're just playing along.
There are some weirdos who think he's boring. And he doesn't. I saw there was a famous tweet that says he doesn't move merch, but that's a real mutant take. But we're dealing with mutants.
I hope they think he's boring, and I hope he doesn't move merch, and I hope he's headlining Wrestle Dream in a year. What about Walter in the C2? I think I'm going full AEW Homer tonight.
Yeah, why not? He doesn't move merch because Paul Levesque is buying it all up. He loves those Iron Crosses. He loves the whole aesthetic.
That's
He
my
thinks it's really
gimmick.
cool. Yeah. Man,
You're an Austrian. You know your place.
Gunther's seen the chaperone.
I'm a look back.
The Miz should have come out after the match and taken a pin.
John Cena.
Whose plan was that? Was that Coach or Bubba Ray?
Oh, just to get like some heat back. Just
Yeah,
to
with
have,
their ideas before the match. Yeah.
wow, even more convoluted. I wouldn't put it past Paul Levesque. Let's make it really convoluted.
It's the ending John wanted to tell.
You know that Paul's not mad because when he came out to the press conference to talk about his booking, he was like, "Oh, I thought it'd be louder." Very always gotten to, always irritated. Poor guy. He just is doing his dream job.
Yeah, getting it ready for his Aurora wants to take the job over as the new scuttlebutt.
Man, it was Rob Reiner's murder that was the final straw for Mick
An odd one, one might say.
How dare you talk about Rob Reiner like that, sir?
I don't, but...
Was Mick friends with Rob Reiner, or did they
That's-
work on something together or something?
I feel like Rob Reiner's mentioned in one of his books. Absolutely, he drops his name.
Huh.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, might be the one that we haven't done yet. Maybe.
Is Rob Reiner a Christmas pervert?
I don't think so. I think he was probably a Hanukkah pervert.
What? Rob Reiner's Jewish?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Rob Reiner's Jewish.
Yes.
So,
He's
maybe
very
they were.
Rob
were they-
Reiner.
was Carl Reiner practicing? Were they practicing?
I don't know about practicing. We're just talking
But
about,
yes, yeah, the aesthetic, the
culturally.
culturally, yes.
I don't want to get any of this heat.
I was about to say that because I was about to reference an off-air conversation we had. Now I know not to go there.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm talking about. The entertainment business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some interesting talks going on.
Uh-oh.
Well,
He's got a guy in the shop. That's all we'll say.
Oh, I thought there was going to be an intervention for me or something.
no.
That's my paranoid thought because I'm going home for Christmas the first time in like 2 years,
Oh man,
and I'm like, what if it's just like an ambush intervention?
I don't think so.
They're like, Gus, you got to get your shit together.
I think it'll be probably happy holidays. And do you have any traditions that you guys are like? Everyone drinks out of a moose eggnog cup, kind of thing, or anything like that?
No. I think I'm trying to start one subtly. I'm gonna get my niece and nephew. They're gonna get like a stuffed animal or plushie of some sort every year. I've decided
Oh, that's nice.
until they're like old enough to where like just fucking stop. But
What
like if they're like 30 and they still want them, that's fine.
Yeah. You could do a family where this is a new tradition. We're all going to sit down and watch Christmas Eve Dynamite and Christmas Day Collision.
Yeah.
Let's go.
No, I'll have to record on the road next week though.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. you're
Recording
probably
live
leaving.
in the car.
Damn.
Probably somewhere in Iowa or Illinois.
Well,
Which
don't
is fine,
stop
'cause
by
I'll be an
here.
hour,
Record
like,
here.
15 or 16 by then.
Do it, Gus. Roll into my house. Sit in here with me in the dark.
You'd throw my timing off, and then I'd pass out, and there's no way I'd be able to.
That's okay.
That's why when we made our trip back last time, I was afraid to stop at your place because I'm like, if I posted up, I was gonna.
Oh yeah, because I was like, come on,
Oh.
rest a little bit, man. Take
I'm like,
your,
no, I got no time for that. I got miles.
We have a guest
Alright.
bedroom if you want it.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Because that's one thing. I will not be stupid with weather. I bought a fucking sleeping bag rated to negative like 35 degrees. So if it like really
Nice.
turns,
Yeah.
me and Peanut are fine.
Oh, taking wow, this is an intense trip. Taking the peanut as well. Holy cow.
Yeah. So
All right.
you can't fly with a dog, and I don't want to leave Peanut back. So
Yeah.
anyways,
Interesting. The
That's
Christmas
sidetrack
week
going on.
record. Well, should we get into it, Vince?
Sure.
Okay. Everything you ever wanted to know about college professors, but were afraid to ask. What possibly could that be? So Vince has graduated. Is he married right now? Right, he is. He married. He got married. He asked his wife for his hand in marriage and her hand in marriage, and they're moving to New York. Correct? I believe so. He gets a job with CBS Publishing,
Oh, I thought it was going to be the pharmacy.
and he claims that he tap danced his way in, quote unquote, and that he thinks he got it because the boss's assistant thought he was hot.
No.
Hit me with a hey naughty.
Did we look up CVS Publishing?
A nanny.
No, I
I think
actually
it's
didn't.
just he just says that he saw the CBS and went, oh yeah, like the CBS. So who knows?
Does he say, was this in Indiana?
No, this is in New York. And so he's a sales rep for the CBS Publishing. And his job is to sell textbooks to professors in the Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island area. Okay. And so then he's like, can you believe this? I'm dumb and I'm selling the professors the textbooks. Doesn't make any sense.
That's a stupid point.
Yeah, that's one of his first points, which is like, I think they know what textbooks they want. They're usually just another edition of last year's textbook. Thank you. If that even gets changed at all. So he's got a company car, he's got to drive around. He's making $14,500 a year. I believe this is if he's 22, this is what, like 84, 85 maybe? Enter Howard Weiner. Or Weiner. I don't know.
Howard Weiner is used to doing the answering, am I right?
Howard Weiner? What do you think?
Okay. Can we flash back to something?
Sure.
This is Foley is good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. With Al by my side, I shamelessly carried my book wherever I went. I took Al on a vacation in Las Vegas to cheer him up, and the book went to UPN, enjoyed our chemistry so much, blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to parse all of Foley's he's doing the pop culture references.
You do.
Okay. They requested us to host a show that had my normally cranky brother John raving over our ridiculous performances. I even brought the book to the premiere of Arnold Schwarzenegger's End of Days, which saw Rob Reiner disrespect me when I tried to talk Spinal Tap with him. In all fairness to Reiner, he probably gets asked about Tap more than I get asked about Hell in a Cell. But that doesn't stop Chris Jericho from frequently asking about the time Marty DeBerge dissed me. So there's this little joke. I knew it existed somewhere.
Yeah, and there was the clip going around of Rob Reiner and his son Nick Reiner, where he's like, "Oh, these kids the two boys loved the WWF, WWE, and I got them a mat so they could wrestle around, and then I took them to shows." And Nick Reiner goes, "That was the other son. I can't, he says his name." And he goes, "No, that was you. No, that wasn't me. Oh, well, didn't you go to some shows? Yeah. Didn't you meet Big Show? Yeah, I met Big Show." And he's like, "See, so you went to some shows."
Are you saying you could see things?
I don't know. It wasn't on a clip.
He was an odd guy.
I wonder if
He
his
is
kid
an
was a
odd guy.
fan.
Well, I thought, they had the updated pictures. First it was the pictures from when he was promoting the movie with his dad, glasses, combed hair, suit, and then the shaved head and the beard pictures. And I went, oh, they're doing a thing because now it's confirmed. And they're like, look at this crazy guy. But I was like, oh, no, that's the most current photo. That was just from the Spinal Tap premiere.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah. I was like, okay. Now, Howard Weiner, or Weiner, was a red-headed, spectacled, hip. I don't know if you put red-headed and spectacled and then go hip. Jewish salesman. Being a smart kid, and he was also. Oh, by the way, he says that he is a street smart kid from the island. Vince Russo. So that's why they got along. And he's learning under the learning tree, but from Howard. And so then he reveals. So check this out. This is how textbook salesmen get a little bit off the top. They have desk copies, right? The teachers. One for the office, one for the backup, for home. Maybe he gets another one just in case he loses another one. A backup for the backup. Well, then what happens is they put the order in, not just a few extras. We're talking 48 extra books that they're paying for, right? But then they take those books, Vince does, and he sells it to the college bookstore, right, for $40 a pop. And that's $1,920 in his pocket from taking the extras that he'd filed away. Now he's thinking, man, you're making $5,000 extra per year. Or no, the professor's doing that. It's the professor's ordering 48 desk copies. But he's getting, he's looking the other way, so they give him a cut of that. It all seems, yes, very silly and very like, well, it's not that big of a deal. A teacher is selling books to the bookstore, and I guess what, giving Vince Russo $100 to not file it correctly.
I don't know.
It's when you're reading it, it's like, what the heck? And then he, of course, it's a Vince Russo thing. So he's like, none of these professors in college are no integrity. These dopes.
I can't picture a single one of my college teachers doing that, taking the time to do that. A fucking box full of books, taking it up to the bookstore.
One of those desk copy boxes falls off the truck. You drop them off here, Vince.
God.
You know the douchiest thing I think I ever had a professor do? Like 2004 or 5 at a junior college. He made us get a fucking newspaper subscription. We were like fucking 19, 20-year-old, like, junior college kids. Like, I don't need a newspaper in my life, dude. Like,
I feel like a lot of high
to
schools
like
do that.
read the fucking what do you call them? Letters to the editor. Be involved with the community.
I only know that because I just watched the fucking Sopranos, where AJ has to get the New York Times sent to his house every day because of his social studies class.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious! That's literally like what I had to do at the junior college. It was
Yeah.
oh man.
I never had to be.
Hold on, would that have been the same year the Sopranos would have aired?
He got that idea. He was like, "Wait,
This is the 2002 season.
Okay, so this would have been after I would have, yeah, because I said like 04, 05. Maybe that guy was low-key really cool and I was the asshole, as often as the truth.
I had a history professor once say, "You have to buy my history book to pass."
Yeah, that's a douche move.
Yeah, and his big history book was like the main theme was Thomas and Jefferson, not all good. I don't know if you've ever thought about that.
Hot take.
And, I did not buy the book, so I did not do well. As a lot of the stuff was covered in that book. I think I wrote Thomas Jefferson bad in one point, and that didn't go over well either. And then I had, did you ever have any professor? This is early on, like when he first got it, and when he was like, it was waiting in the chamber. I was like, sorry, I missed yesterday. Can I get like the material or whatever? Look, I'm not here to be your parent. You're here to learn. And it's like, yeah, and I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it. Why are you doing this right now? Why are you trying to teach me a lesson? I'm coming to you, man to man, saying, give me the material I missed so I can, read up on it and all that. Like, what are we doing?
You man to man.
What are we doing? And he's like, no, I'm not going to do. You got to learn to be in class. It's like, and I see why I got put on academic probation. I stopped going to that class.
I'm surprised he didn't put him in a headlock.
What are we doing?
Give him a full mouth. I mean, to be fair, do you think he's still like
Who
making
knows?
a living or providing for his family? Probably not.
Doubt it.
You are. So who's
Yes.
laughing now?
Thank you. Let's see. What does he say here? Oh. So he's like, this is one of the best kept secrets in faculty lounges across colleges. His conscience, he can't believe he's committing this petty crime. He has to get out of it, you know. And then saved Vince comes in and goes, you know, I regret all this stuff. I make myself accountable. If I can't throw a piece of paper on the floor, if I yell at my kids, I was like, you're still yelling at your kids? They're like getting grown at this point. And I was thinking that future book he writes, nothing has changed in 5 years. He still has the same complaints. He's still doing the same behaviors. And he calls living your life in Christ is the hardest game. He calls it a game that he's ever played. So there you go. Chapter 10. Oh, this one's a doozy. What is happening to me? Vince is about to go on a depression jag. He's married Amy. He's moved him out to New York. He got a job, a normal job, and already he's looking for an exit. He can't handle it.
CVS Publishing doesn't exist based on what I've been trying to track down.
It sounds like a scam, yeah.
They're like, you gotta. When they hired him, they're like, you gotta sell textbooks, but also there's gonna be a lot of professors buying a lot of extras, and don't worry about it. Let's see. He says the depression started. Well, it actually started on the flight going back to Evansville, Indiana, to see his bride.
They sold the publishing business in '85. So Russo was right at the tail end of this thing.
Yeah, he probably tanked them. They were like, okay, it's fine.
Oh, fuck it, we just need a body in this seat.
But looking at like their spreadsheets, and you just see V Russo and just these astronomical numbers, and going, wait, hold on, we're not making any money.
Yeah, it says it was mainly professional materials, magazines, and trade books, and educational. So yeah, just I don't know.
So the depression started when he was flying back to Indiana to see his fiancée, Amy. He was overcome with a feeling that the plane was going to crash. I wrote, or he wanted it to. It was surreal, he says. And then he's going, I guess, to get married in Indiana. Yes, that's why he's flying there. He's flying back. And who does he bring with him? His grandfather, the misogynist. John Jay took the journey with him. And he's just like, come on, this plane's going to crash. And he's just like, this wedding cannot take place. It cannot happen. And he writes, mentally, physically, emotionally, I just wasn't there. I wrote again. And soon to be a behavior pattern for Vince. When is he not physically, mentally, emotionally, all that stuff available to Amy or anybody really? He always seems to be looking for his next scheme or what have you.
Was he emotionally available for the ring rat?
He seemed like it.
He seemed pretty
did
available.
Did you hear that?
Hey, nanny, nanny.
What about? Oh, no, it's this one when she was dancing.
Oh, hey, nanny, nanny.
No, what I said to Larry was, Amy can hear that in the basement.
Yes.
And she knows that he calls sex, hey, nanny. Like an adult, he calls sex, hey, nanny, nanny.
Amy is like in her like 6th back-to-back meeting of the day. Like, has not eaten.
Skipped lunch. wants
Yeah.
to crush these meetings.
Vince is not looking at the phone. She just wants him to order some
Yes.
goddamn Uber Eats, and he can't even.
Yes, unanswered text messages on his phone. He hears the dinging, like, and it's, some of them are just like, "Can you quiet down?" As he's screaming, "Hey, Nani! Oh my God!" Amy, don't watch the live stream. Where multiple times he says, "I don't want to be a pervert, but I'm not a pervert. I have to ask."
Well, when you're talking to a real hero like he was, you get engulfed in the conversation. I understand.
Could ask about just day-to-day life, how you eat. He did ask how you sleep.
Gentlemen,
But his
I'm a
main
gentleman.
concern was, how do you have sex? What's that like?
Oh my God, guys.
I don't like that Vince got so horned up. He's such a prude, and he got so horned. I've never even think I've heard him that actively, outwardly horned up before. He always couches it in such weird prudishness.
Yeah.
Like that we talk about the closeted Catholic thing. Everyone's going. Everyone can tell that he's like, "Oh my God, I do not want to do this. I do not want to get married." By the way, remember the marriage thing was purely out of spite to the mother-in-law. You can't take care of my daughter. Challenge accepted. I'm going to marry her and I'm going to take her to New York. Now he's like, "Oh God." And people are telling him it's going to be okay. And he says, quote, "I was begging somebody just to stop the madness." He said, "This is madness." And he's trying to tell people. And Beans and Flounder from the fraternity are also there. Shout out to them again. Beans and Flounder. That has to be one of the worst friends, right? The guy that's like, "I'm going to name myself after the Animal House guy." Right, Flounder? That's got to be one of the worst guys. He's co-opting a character. That was Animal House, right? Flounder, the big guy? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And this is when I noted that Vince, I hadn't caught it before, but then I start catching it now, and now I can't stop catching it, where he'll go, "You got to remember, comma. Do you remember what I was just saying?" Every sentence almost starts with, "Now, remember what I said earlier." Now, you have to remember, Vince has a lot of pride. And I'm going to go through with this without any help from Amy, my parents, or my friends. Which is just a really weird sentence to write. I don't want to marry this woman, but I'm going to get through it. Without her help, without anybody's help, I'm just going to grit my teeth and get this done because of my pride. The worst days were yet to come. And before he would know it, it would be 4 years before the old Vince Russo would return, which I'm like, the old Vince? I guess he's talking about like the newspaper Vince or something like that, where people were kind of like dealing with them. Is that what he's talking about with the old
I have
Vince?
no idea.
Old Vince is the same as the new Vince. And so then he was like, "You know why I got married to her? God. God was there, but I didn't know him." How frequently does Vince change? We are in one now. What I meant by that. Okay. Death on two legs. Let's see. So 4 years immediately following my marriage were no doubt my worst years. There you go. Newlywed bliss. For the first time in my life, I understood why people committed suicide. And he feels trapped. He feels like he's in a shell. He can't actually, he's numb. All of his senses are numb. And the real him is screaming to get out. He is a prisoner chained to an awful place. He thought he was going crazy. So what does he do? becomes a stranger, he says, to Amy, to his family, and whatever friends that he had left. So he goes, and again, I write, this happens frequently with Vince here, where he gets into a new project, like the CD warehouse or whatever, and he's like, this whole thing is making me sad. What's the next thing? Starts emailing TNA, you know. So he goes to a doctor. They say, do you want medication? And he's just like, medication that doesn't do anything. Okay. And saved Vince comes in and goes, it's God that will take care of us. He will answer if it is his. And why he was not, you know, well, why wasn't God answering you? You're like 4 years, you're suffering. Well, he will answer if it is his will to do so. He's just not going to bless any one of us until we deserve his grace. That sounds like a shitty deal. And then he starts complaining. He's like, hey, do you remember my situation? I'm 22. I married a woman that I didn't want to marry. I have a new job, a new family. Now the weight of the world on my shoulders. Yeah, you said to Alt that you were like, Alto, you're not going to do that. And you're like, fuck you, I am. This is all self-inflicted. He's having panic attacks. Amy and Vince are becoming strangers, he says. He realizes, like, whoa, she isn't even around people from home. She lives in New York with me. So she talks a lot about, maybe I should go back to Indiana. And he says, well, you know what? Vince says, when she said stuff like that, maybe I should go back to, that did not help the situation. In fact, making me more depressed, driving me deeper into the void, he says. And he doesn't know how their marriage stayed together. I was like, oh. She probably felt a little like, what's she going to do? She also made this commitment to go back to Indiana and go, Mom, you were right. Probably not at that age, right? Don't worry, in 5 years, she'll be going to Indiana to stay with, what, was it her sister? When Vince was like, uh-oh. When he was having marriage troubles again. Years. She does go back to Indiana for a bit. And I think if I recall correctly, he also was like, she's not helping. You've got to understand, I wasn't there. It's August 86. And this is what changes his life for the better. Amy's pregnant. I'm going to be a father. The child will bear my name. There you go. Now he has purpose again. And he writes, what mattered when his child Will was born, what mattered before meant nothing now. And then he also mentions, have we heard this before, that he's a practicing hypochondriac? I know in the net book he claims his mother is, and I think in this one too. But I don't think he's ever said that he also is.
No.
Because he says, I don't even know, maybe he doesn't know what it means. He says, I have to give women credit for having babies. Because he's a hypochondriac, he says thanks but no thanks. Is it because they have different things going on? They have to go to the doctor sometimes to make sure.
Yeah, I think it's every little weird thing. It's like, oh my God, the baby.
Okay.
The stress of having to carry life within inside you.
Yeah.
You know, good for you, women. We love you.
Saved Vince comes back in, and he's like, you know what? Money is not important. Success is not important. Family's important. Cat's in the cradle.
Silver spoon.
Yep. Do something about it today. Turns into what's that ghost in Christmas Carol? Jacob Marley. Don't the change that I have wrought upon my. He also brings up, Save Vince also just would like to, I was, all this stuff I was talking about, symptoms that I couldn't handle. I realized I wasn't alone when I read the autobiography of Donny Osmond. It's common. I wrote, this sucks, Vince sucks. He's like a parody of him. But that's him. He's really like, I don't know if there's is there a real Vince?
No.
I want to know what he's like alone, with nothing. Like just him in the kitchen. Is he like this? He told Amy I read the Donny Osmond book. And she's just like, the comeback, it's 1987. They've named their son Will, and although that is Amy's dad's name, he knows the real reason. It's San Francisco Giant Will Clark.
See, I would always be afraid of naming my kid after somebody, just in general, because, what if that somebody just turns out to be a real piece of shit?
Right.
You got to make sure they're dead and
But even if they're dead, you got to make sure every closet has been
You're not going to run into anybody
cleaned out and
yeah. That's nice, Vince Russo. That when she's like, "Well, we're named after my father, your grandfather," and Vince Russo.
yeah, but it's really after the San Francisco baseball player.
Will Clark from the Giants. You got it. Yeah. You always have to make everything so fucking. He realizes now after all this that he wants to work for himself. And he gets a job at a store called Video Breakthrough. And it's a movie rental place. It was two high school teachers that, got the build, from the ground up, made this Video Breakthrough store, and it was very successful. It was their baby. And he doesn't call himself a clerk or cashier or even like a manager. He says he was a sales consultant at Video Breakthrough. Okay. His bona fides, he's a big-time movie buff. What do you think when you hear that big-time movie buff? What do you think? What movies is he watching?
I think it means he's an asshole and he's a miserable person to talk to, personally. That's what I hear when I said big-time movie buff.
I'm a big-time movie buff. Those are my bones. No. You're thinking he's probably seen all the classics. You're right. To this very day, I can quote every line from Saturday Night Fever and Rocky. Let's get Vincent to the Criterion
He's
closet.
a movie buff and the guy who goes to see the number one movie every weekend. You got guys like that.
Yeah.
They're always pumped for the big blockbuster. You'll see
Amy,
it 4 times.
I can't come up from the basement. The Rocky Marathon on TNT is on. I know it word for word.
Yeah.
I'm a movie buff. You married a movie buff when you married me. And you better believe as a writer, remember, Vince Russo's a writer. Even when he has not done any outside of, the journalism in school. The Creighton Burns expose and his wonderful obituaries and movie reviews. I feasted on good dialogue. In my opinion, the words always made the movie.
His Planet of the Apes take is wrong if you're going to cover it or not. But
Yeah. He says one of his favorite childhood memories is that emasculated father of his taking him to a 10-hour ape-a-thon. All the Planet of the Apes movies. He calls himself a Planet of the Apes mark. Yes, he thinks Beneath the Planet of the Apes is the worst one.
I almost like that one the best.
Yeah.
The underground people are awesome.
And I think we get our second Cornelius reference in our podcast. He didn't know Cornelius, his father. He didn't know Cornelius from Curious George. I'm just referencing when Ventura was obsessed with old Cornelius from history. He could have taken down the U.S. government, right? Was that Admiral?
Oh,
What a deep cut. Jeez,
I
okay.
know.
wow.
It's bad that this has done this to my brain where I see Cornelius from Planet of the Apes and I'm like, what did Cornelius ever do? Or what is it? Has a Cornelius ever did anything right?
Oh, that's right. That was the yeah.
Vince Russo cut to, you don't understand how this happened. I'm guessing he scrounges together loans from like, oh, he does say why. Yeah, it's exactly how you think it happens. Okay. He buys Video Breakthrough from these two people. Hey, you've done all the work. It's a success. Let me buy this from you. And then he goes, well, I didn't really buy it. First, his parents refinanced their house to help with the mortgage, right?
I couldn't imagine having parents that would do that for you.
They don't know Vince at this point, or is this like maybe this will be the thing? Hey, honey, he loves movies. He's got a family now. He can't. I mean, it's a success already. He thinks even though it was not him, we paid about $200,000 for the store, half cash, half note, and he said that the business would pay them back, and it did for about 4 years. He says at one point they opened up a second location.
That was dumb.
One of his problems was that he hired, now it's a family business. Now everyone is involved, including his mother, the Fruitinator.
Well, his mother for his failures?
Yeah, this wasn't going to help business. She hates customers because she hates everybody. So every day would start with an argument between Vince and her. 5-minute arguments, to the point that then she would end the argument with throwing her hands up and saying, "That's it," and grab her stuff and go home. So, and he writes, every single day this happened. So he's opening up the store at 10 a.m., closing at 10 p.m., and he's there. It's a CD warehouse. That's going to happen in the future. He's there all the time. Remember, he's got a new family, and now he's at a video store all the time. There's 2 locations, right? I had a video store I used to love to go to as a kid. I don't think I ever saw the manager there. It's always just the cashiers, the clerks.
Yeah.
I rarely ever saw the manager.
That's because those were successful businesses that didn't require, that had the ability to
I do have to be there.
hire staff.
Yeah, the Fruitinator can grab the turned in videos, collect those out of the crate. You can do that. She can refile. I trust
know,
her.
that's why I don't even know why Russo thinks that's you don't have to interact with people that much at a fucking video store.
No, you don't. You're standing at a register. You're doing stock, sorting, tapes. Maybe at that point, rewinding things that had not been rewound. That's it. Picking a movie to put on the TV monitors around the room. Do we think that his video store had an adult section?
Ooh.
With the beads? Well, you know what this means. He's doing 84 hours a week. Amy's raising Will by herself. Wah, wah. Can you believe it? What was I supposed to do? I had everything I wanted. My days for working for somebody else were over. Well, guess what? I should have seen Blockbuster coming. The video store guys didn't clue. This seems like they got one over on Vince. They're like, we see these Blockbusters popping up in other towns. Maybe we should just get out this guy. Seems like a mark.
Seems like a real film buff.
They're getting when he's like, "Do you know all the words to Rocky?" Like, yeah.
John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever.
Larry, one of your favorites, Deer Hunter. What do you think Vince Russo thinks about Deer Hunter?
It's too slow. Right? He's not getting past the wedding
He can't
scene.
watch. Yeah, he can't watch. He can't even watch the climax. where everything comes, the roulette, he can't watch that. No way he can watch that. That makes him uncomfortable.
Oh, you think? Okay.
I think that's too much.
Yeah, I just don't even see him getting that far.
He's got his father working with him. He's got his boyhood pal and also his partner. He roped somebody else into it, Jimmy Monsees. And he also decided to change the name of the video store. That's what you always want to do. You want to buy a successful thing and then change the name to cause confusion.
He's definitely a platoon over Deer Hunter guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When they make him smoke out of the gun, they call it Will the Thrills Video.
What a stupid name.
And he saw the coming soon Blockbuster video. They had done their homework. Yes, Blockbuster had scouted Will the Thrill Video. They saw mine where I was, and they put one nearby. Immediately, my parents panicked. My father had just taken early retirement. Now he's screwed.
What
I
a
just
piece
want
of shit, son.
JCW. Take note of his history of like carnage. Like, I think JCW will be fine because those ICP, it's just like a passion thing for them. They don't really give a shit. But some way, something, he's going to do something that's going to be like, oh no. He's going to be smelling it, feeling himself. And he's going to do something, some segment that's going to get through that shouldn't have gotten through. And he's going to get booted. I mean, I can't imagine this, right? He either quits if it's dying down. He just quits and says, I've got other things I want to do and focus on. How long does this last, the JCW run?
Oh.
Probably until maybe spring at the latest. By the time baseball season starts up.
Oh, yeah. Shit. He doesn't have time for that. So he says how Blockbuster got him. It's classic Vince Russo that we've read. If they buy 10 copies of a new release, Blockbuster buys 50. And then, you know what? All their loyal customers, they're not loyal. People aren't loyal, he writes. If they could get Dirty Dancing from Blockbuster the first day it came out, they were headed to the blue and yellow. See a big problem with Vince's business plan for his video store. He's not getting new releases out the day that they're newly released. Yes. If somebody's like, oh, I can't wait for the new release, and they go to Will the Thrill, and he's like, tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, they'll go to Blockbuster. They know that they have many more copies, and they're available.
Hey, he's not really saying why he couldn't just match them.
I guess in that, they're buying in bulk or whatever, and he's like, I'm a small business. The margins are thin.
Okay.
I can only afford 10 copies of Dirty Dancing. They get checked out right away. I'm turning people away. My business. CD Warehouse, he didn't see MP3s coming. This seems to be also a pattern with Vince. He's not much for reading any articles that are like the latest technology happening across the country.
You know who's probably told him a million times, like just at dinner, if they even sit the one time they sit down a month, is Amy.
Right. My friend called me, told me about this Blockbuster video thing. That's a flash in the pan.
I read this article about MP3s in Newsweek.
100 songs in your device? No way. People
$300.
Yeah. But the video store too was probably like, they're loyal. They love that one-on-one connection. They know that if they go into Will the Thrill, they're gonna see movie buff Vince. It's more about the conversations. He's like a pizza guy, a local pizza joint. So then they open up another Blockbuster across the second location. Whoops. Now he's just working 100 hours a week. Oh, now he's working more, which that seems odd. Like, how much more can you do at the video store? Uh,
Well, you just fire everybody else, and you're the only one working there.
I guess now, yeah, he's working doubles. He's working morning. He's already working morning, noon, and night, and now he's working also late night. Let's see, chapter 13. You want to take a break, or do you want to keep going for a little bit?
Take a break. I'm just trying to look for Will the Thrills video store in New York.
Killed it.
I know
You
it's
think
long closed, but you think someone would at least like bring it up in like a nostalgia group.
Yeah.
I'm not finding anything yet, so
Must
I'll
have been a
look
real
more.
shithole.
I think Blockbuster bought it out just to close it, or Hollywood Video bought it out.
Oh no!
There you go.
All right.
I was on a little break. I was thinking about, Vince in those, was it last couple of chapters there? He talks about depression and all that. And I was like, gosh, is my voice, do I sound, because it's Vince Russo, do I sound dismissive? My knee jerk is to just take him at his word, but it's also Vince.
Yes. Oh.
And we're like so stewed in Vince, and like,
Your parents paid for you to go to college. Your fucking dad came out of retirement to get you a video store, and you're depressed. Like,
that's what I'm like. I don't
And
want
it's
to
not depression because he's not treating the depression. Just different things happen to him in life. That's, you know what I mean?
he's just going through a grind. Is that what we think? He's just going through the
Yeah.
normal grind, and
he's not. He's living outside of the normal grind. Like, and he's that miserable. Like,
He's never done the normal grind.
yeah.
He sold textbooks for the mafia or whatever.
That's not even a real job, though. That's a salesman job. You do that as you please.
Oh,
That was basically an MLM scheme.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Just wanted to make sure we were on the same page, because I was like, I don't want to sound like
No, we don't
comes
need
to
to.
me and it's like, oh, I have all these issues, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you. It's specifically Vince. It
You also,
always
mental health is not your fault, but it is your responsibility, and he refuses to manage it. And
that's true. Vince, yeah, responsibility and Vince do not oil and water. According to him in his own book. I mean, this book is like grim for me. I'm like, you wrote this stuff? And I kind of want to give him credit for actually writing it, but it's like, your wife's going to read this. Or is she not? Like, some of this stuff is like crazy. Or was he just being upfront with her in the moment? Amy, I'm depressed. You're pushing me away when you say you want to move back to Indiana. I don't know. I mean, like I said, in the second book, it doesn't get better. So it's just like, this is depressing. This is depressing me.
Yeah, this is what I was not interested in, but, we don't hear about him until he meets a Resi, so.
Well, things, he does say, now we're on to now what? So now the video store has failed. Now what's his next move? He says, Amy should have divorced him. Why? Because since they'd been married 4 years, I spent zero time with her. Remember, also during this, they have a child. He says the video store is making about $100 a day. And so he's thinking he doesn't want to do corporate America, as he calls it. And then he does this. Does anybody here know this reference? I mix like Jerry and the rest of the castaways from Survivor Season 2 with corporate America.
I'm not a Survivor guy, so I couldn't tell you.
No.
I'm a free spirit. I just can't handle rules and regulations, and we've talked about this in prior episodes. A lot of these wrestling guys, it's just about not wanting to have like a somewhat normal. They act like that is like just going to be the death of them. A normal job. They need to be traveling.
Listen up, Ridge Holland.
And, enter John Arezzi. A man in his late 20s walks into Vince's, what he calls a nightmare. He has a radio show in Long Island where he talks About what? Wrestling? Yes.
Yeah.
And he'd met John over the years because Vince Russo would do these promotions for this video store to get customers where he would invite wrestlers to do signings, meet and greets. And they were usually going to be booked on a Resi show, so, he would see a Resi from time to time. So John's show is called the Pro Wrestling Spotlight, and Vince says it was struggling and John needed help. And he asked me if I would be interested in advertising on the show.
Can we advertise on JCW? How much would that cost?
Yeah, we should probably reach out. Ask, I don't know how good of a businessman Vince paints John here. He goes into a struggling, dilapidated video store and is like, hey, you want to advertise on my struggling show?
I'll take that 100 you're making a day. I'll grow that by 10%.
It seems, it was one of those things where I raised an eyebrow and went, I think Vince reached out to him and was like, I got to do something. I got to get the word on him. And he thinks John seems a bit shady. And that's the chapter. My dinner with Andre? No, John. I began doing business with John Arezzi in late November 1991. And in Vince's mind, he's paying for a good chunk of John's show. What does Amy think about this? Well, she thinks Vince is crazy. You're already struggling.
Will's crying because he's hungry.
Your video stores are going out of business, and now he's giving over a sizable amount of money to this guy for advertising.
It's not even, it's his parents' money.
And then Vince kind of does the thing where with people, it's everybody else is an asshole, not Vince. So it's like, so this guy could play radio on every Sunday. Hey, and he asks again, why did Amy stay with me? I never fully realized what I put her through until I started actually getting it down on paper. There you go. And he realizes after writing all this that it's like, oh my God, I'm always on to the next big thing. My priorities are never about her. It's always me, me, me. Amy has little to no say in the matter. Wait, is this saved Vince? This is old Vince. So what does save Vince do? Nothing, because then even later, nothing still changed. Let's see. Still old Vince, and we got he tells John we need to expand if we're going to become profitable. He's that guy. Whenever he gets in somewhere, he's like, it's got to be big. That's what he's doing with JCW. Yeah. It's got to be bigger. We got to sell it somewhere. So he's contacting radio stations that are selling their airtime. And that's his big thing. Now we got to pay to be on the air in other places. And the idea is that the radio show is also struggling, according to Vince.
Yeah, Vince is
Aren't video stores hyper local businesses?
Yes.
Like we're talking down to like a few mile radius.
Yes. Come all the way to Will the Thrill. You're hearing it, and you're all the way
in that Long Island traffic. Yeah. Drive across town. We've got less selection and shitty.
You're in Pennsylvania, and you hear about Will the Thrill every Sunday. So that hour on WEVD that had 50,000 that covered all this area, the tri-state area, cost us roughly $1,500 per week. Jeez. So now we got to come up with a new income stream.
No,
just to pay for that. And his idea, I'm a writer. John and I will start a newsletter, a wrestling newsletter, the Pro Wrestling Spot.
Why, Amy, take Will, go back to Indiana.
Well, hey, within a month, business was picking up. They had 500 subscriptions. But also, by the way, it costs us money to have this newsletter. You gotta print the damn
But we'll
thing.
sell ads.
He's
and
putting Will the wait a minute. Putting Will the Thrill in the newsletter as well. Dave getting this newsletter in California or wherever he was at the time, Texas, Florida. Will the Thrill video. Let's see. He's searching for sponsors. And you know what? He doesn't feel that John was putting in the same effort, the host of the show. He's just using Vince for money, he thinks. Well, I also saw it as an opportunity, he said, so he just kept his head down. Chapter 15, My Life as a Grappler. Yes, that's right. Vince Russo has wrestled in his life before WCW. And he starts it, you've got to understand something about me. Guys, you've got to understand this stuff. And you know what's funny about if he were to listen, he'd possibly be like, they don't understand. I'm reading your words. We're discussing your I don't know how much more I can understand. When Vince does something, he goes all the way. You've got to understand that. He goes all the way. So he comes.
Didn't in the formative years of his child's life.
Yeah. Well, that and having sex with a woman. Those two things he did not do.
I could take it or leave it.
If it's there, it's there. Maybe splay yourself out. Is it there? Vince, he comes home to Amy and he says, okay, my new thing is this wrestling thing, the wrestling newsletter, the wrestling show. Honey, I've got to go all in on this. I don't want to be a wrestler, but I have to go to a school and get trained to be a wrestler. Or I won't train as a wrestler. I want to be a manager. So he goes to Gleason's gym in Brooklyn, New York. And immediately he goes to a real life place and he's like, it's like the movies. This gym looks like a gym.
It's like Rocky.
That's right, man. It was straight out of Rocky. Nailed it. Let's see, which I had to be me and go, that takes place in Philly. I'm just saying, Vince. Rocky takes place, so it can't be exactly. But yes, it's a real boxing gym he's in, so there you go. As opposed to, I guess, a movie set one. And he goes, I hate this. Vince goes, he's like getting all like romantic about a boxing gym. He's feeling manly. It was a slice of life. Brooklyn at its finest. I can't stand this guy sometimes. I can't believe he puts these things down. And who trains in the back of Gleason's gym? It's Johnny Rods. He'll train you. Now, if you're a New Yorker, Y-A-W-K, you know who Johnny Rods is. So he goes to Johnny Rods, what he knew about him. He says he offers Johnny Rods advertising, free advertising on the radio show if he trains them. And he's going to learn how to bump. And that's about it. And so, because he just wants to be a manager, he told Johnny, I do not want to be a wrestler. So for about 3 months, he drove to Gleason's gym from his video store where he's working 100 hours a week, right? It's failing. He's also doing a newsletter. He's also, I'm sure, hanging out at the radio show on Sundays. I want to see where my money is going. He's driving 2 hours to Gleason's gym 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. What did Amy think about this? She thought Vince was crazy again. I said it's crazy how all these ventures of Vince always have to involve keeping his family at arm's length. has to be hanging out with the guy. It's about not being around my family. And then it's not like where his dad was coming home and he's like, well, I think he gave credit to his dad. He held a job for 100 years or whatever. He provided a house for us. Vince doesn't even have that. Vince always is just failures at a certain point around him. He's looking around, going on to the next thing. And he says about wrestling, you have to pay your dues. He's a new guy. He's going to have to pay his dues. Well, hold on. New Vince, saved Vince, has something to say. I don't understand this. It's bogus. And I question the relevance of this theory. He thinks that if God has given you natural talent, you should go straight to the head of the class, top of the class there, get success before it, and not, you don't have to just pay your dues business, it's for the birds. He asks, did LeBron James pay his dues? But I think he's confusing practice with dues too. It's like, yeah, LeBron James practices. Yes. Did Michael Jordan pay his dues?
Those are real sports. When you win, you win.
Yeah, and they practice, which I would consider paying you're doing something that you're giving your time and effort to get better at something, which is it's paying your dues thing. Yeah, I think he's confusing this with also like hazing. I don't think he likes any of that.
Success in wrestling is totally just subjective.
Yeah. Oh, so he said LeBron, right? You got LeBron, you got Michael Jordan, right? Did Britney Spears pay her dues?
No.
That's his third one. No, he says he's right, Larry. You're right, because they were talented. They went to the front of the line. He understands. You got to pay your dues if you need more seasoning. But sometimes he thinks people just say that to keep a person down. And I was like, okay, what's Vince trying to say to us here? Is he trying to say that he shouldn't have paid his dues?
Correct. He was the Michael Jordan of managers, is what he's saying.
If you know in your heart that you're ready and you suspect somebody's trying to keep you down by saying you haven't paid your dues, you tell them, thanks, but no thanks. I'm taking off.
In Wrestling Manager, I can't think of like somebody who like just debuted like day one was like, that is the greatest manager of all time. Like that's...
Yeah.
Usually it's something like people grow into. It's not a really...
Right. I wouldn't even know. I pay so little mind to managers,
Mm-hmm.
They're there to slap the ring apron if the crowd seems a little fuzzy.
What,
the rhythmic slapping.
Not making FTR more interesting for you?
No, he's like what is he? I was gonna say a cherry on top, but he's more, I don't know, like I don't even say he's a cherry on top. He's just like some extra whipping cream or something. Like he doesn't really add anything. I don't think he necessarily takes away, because I can take or leave FTR promos. So I'm happy to have at least a guy that can kind of talk, at times. They're okay. I'm not going to diminish the promo. They're good. They're okay. Let's see. They didn't have when was the last time they've been healed without managers? I don't know. Got to give Stokely something to do. He's on the payroll. Who should Stokely Hathaway manage? Let's break it down. Who's out there? Who can't talk but can use a push?
I don't think Stokely can talk.
Hook.
Didn't they have it for a bit?
Maybe. Can you manage Hook? That seems like something. That'd be very funny to me. He's hiding behind Hook, and they're the same size. I like that. That's good, right? That's funny. So Vince actually says here, I was paying my dues because I just wasn't good enough. Oh, I'm like, okay, so why did you have the save Vince cut in and start? That's all bullshit. But here was the thing. He felt like he was paying them. It just was taking, in his mind, forever to pay them. And it also, in very classic Vince fashion, he immediately starts something and is like, I don't know about this. This is work. This seems like too much. But he does bring up that somebody is in his class that he really thinks is great. There's a couple blue chippers. Devon Dudley and Big Vito. Big Vito, Vito LaGrasso. He was the cream of the crop. Look at that. We picked this book. We're watching JC, and Vito's a big, huge part of it. Look at this. I didn't know Vito was going to be part of this book. Did you know about this? That he managed Vito when Vito was starting out?
Yeah, I think he talked about it in his other book.
Oh, did?
I told you about the bar mitzvahs.
What bar mitzvahs?
They worked the Nazi gimmick on the bar mitzvahs.
Oh, lordy. Okay. I guess
And
he
then
does
the kid having the bar mitzvah would beat up Skull von Krusch, playing
Oh,
a German character, and Russo as his manager. And all the kids would be
God.
happy.
Vito has not found success as of writing this book. And I would say he still hasn't. What is this book again? 2002. Vito has not found success. Hopefully he will. And you know what Vince would like you to know? He's never been a fan of guys who tap dance their way through the back door, through politics. Oh, they know somebody. But at the same time, he feels responsible for Vito. Not sure why, but he wants to help Vito make it. And then he brings up that Vito was past 35 when he actually made it into the business. And then Vince would like to add, he might never even gotten into the big time if it wasn't for me giving him his big break at World Championship Wrestling. Had nothing to do with heart, desire, work ethic, and drive. It was just politics. I was like, wait, you can't. You used to. He does this in the next book where he's like, you know what I hate? Also, let me brag about that exact thing. It was, but also in the end, he's always talking both sides of it. Also, it was that he deserved to make it, just to be clear. So, he's going to manage Vito LaGrasso, the number one monster in the territory, he says. Skull von Krusch. Doubt that. Do you doubt that, Larry? Is he Skull von Krusch the number one heel in the territory?
I don't know this territory, so I can't.
In 1990, where are we now at this point? 1988, 89? Like,
It's
where
just
are
Johnny
we?
Rods' school.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
like Dom DiNucci's school. That's the territory.
Chapter 16, Vicious Vincent Rocks. We got Proto Vic Venom here. So he likes that alliteration, Vicious Vincent, Vic Venom. Why didn't he stick with that? Like when he became an on-air character? Because of the shoot thing, like they know it's me, Vince Russo? So he's like, I had a costume made. Amy thought I was crazy. It's a black set jacket with fire, flames coming up the bottom, red,
Yeah, that's
yellow,
what I
orange.
thought. That's not original. That's the Kiss guitarist's name.
Oh, Vicious Vincent. Okay.
Vicious Vinny, yeah.
He's got
the
a
one who
black
took over for
spandex
Ace.
shirt.
Yeah.
He's got matching spandex pants. Fringe is everywhere. And he's walking around with a fluorescent orange baseball bat. Let's see. They're going to wrestle veteran Cousin Luke. He goes, yes. WWF Hillbilly Jim and Uncle Elmer, the cousin of those guys. He's looking around the locker room. And Vince is about to kind of start cosplaying as a blue-collar guy. He's looking around at all these men back here. He's in his blazer and his spandex with his neon orange bat. And he's going, oh my gosh, he's watching them go through their matches, These guys, this is their 9 to 5. They're blue-collar workers. With blue-collar attitudes. Busting their blue-collar butts. For every blue-collar penny they made. Blue collar. These wrestlers that will do anything to not work a regular job. Just like the guy at the local. They're welders, they're janitors, they're any number of gimmicks. They're just like them. It's kind of like how people look at Harley Race and they're like, yeah, and it's like Harley Race just looked like everybody looked like that back then. It doesn't mean he could like fix your refrigerator, you know. And then Vince calls them aspiring sports entertainers. And then he writes a real whopper. Innocence. It was the innocence of the wrestling business that attracted me to it.
Excuse me?
Is this guy dumb? I know the answer, but what is he talking about? The innocence. What? I've never even... Is there anybody you know that romanticizes wrestling to this degree?
Well, Jim Cornette
Sammy's-
does. But
Yes.
I
Is he
don't
going to
think
go
he'd
back
ever
to
say a
all blue
sentence like
collar?
that. No.
Yeah.
He embraces the carny of it.
Yeah.
Vince thinks it's real.
And then I took a turn of being dumb because he wrote, it was the Shield all over again. And I was like, why is he referencing this dumb FX TV show?
Oh.
And then I went, oh yeah, right. The paper's called the Shield. So Vicious Vincent, he goes through the match, you know, he claims that like over half of it is improv, you know, that they talk through the match. Then at some point, Vito starts shooting on the square, you know, feeding him like go clothesline. You know, he's getting one, you know, the cousin Luke mad at him. He's getting Vito mad at him. He writes, wait a minute, this wasn't in the script. So they do the whole thing. Skull hits him with Vito hits him with a clothesline. Have you ever heard this saying? I went down like a kid picking up an unclaimed dollar off the floor.
Nope.
No.
I've heard so many others. I was trying to explain somebody getting dropped. Unclaimed dollar off the floor.
To me, I read it and my mind says he bent over.
Yeah. Yeah, you bend over and pick it up. What? So then he rolls out. He's like, I'm good. He bumps like once and he's like, okay, that's it. That was my first and last professional match. And remember when he says, whenever I do something, I go all in, and that's what I tell people. So they're like, why are you doing all this silly stuff? It's because I go all in. I have pride. Well, also, I've lived my life by one law. This is a new law. When you try something and you're trying to be something you're not, that's when you fail. I wasn't going to be a wrestler. I wasn't going to try to be one. I said, Vince, you wanted to be a manager. You already couched it in that. So that was it. All the 3 months, the cost of the costume, the 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 times a week, you know, training for 3 months, all gone. Doesn't matter. He's got a new idea. He has seen all these wrestlers, right, from his class at this little show. He also does a thing where he's kind of like, it's the college sports of wrestling. He's like, well, they must all want to be here because nobody's making money. And I was like, well, somebody. He says the promoter's not making any money. It's like, I bet they're making money. Something. They're not paying the. Because he's like, I know the wrestlers aren't making any money. I wasn't making any money. He's like, well, okay, well then where are the tickets going, Vince? So he says he looks around at all these wrestlers. He figures out this is going to be my calling in life. I want to help these guys without wrestling succeed. And so I'm guessing Vince was at the show and kind of got a read of it. And he's like, I don't want to be with these. I want to be the guy that exploits these guys, who's in charge of these guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the psychology is.
He says he thrives on challenge. That's why.
Okay.
I posit that when he sees people working hard, he's like, what if I can ride their coattails or take a little up off the top? Same thing with like the show thing, where it's like he wants to be involved with the show, but the one guy's hosting it and probably booking the guests, and but Vince is like, he's one of probably many advertisers, but Vince is kind of eyeballing Arezzi as his way into the wrestling business even more. Which he says,
What if we have Lunar Vachon on and we throw baloney at her ass? That's what he's pitching to John.
How much did he bother Arezzi? Like, did you hear Stern? We gotta do that. So, this is a good one. So, steroids, how they changed my life forever. His money, this is Vince Russo.
Oh
With
boy.
his money.
I'm going to be interested in hearing this side of this tale.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
With Vince's money and Vince's drive, he was helping to create a following for the show. And he also says that Arezzi's controversial opinions were also creating a stir. I was like, how do you quantify drive? How is Vince's drive helping build the show?
Look, some things just don't show up in the stat sheets.
I mean, you know what this is? The Arezzi Russo thing? It's you and Steve.
It's me and Steve. They should have to explain that one.
Think about it. Russo, where do his loyalties lie?
With the Fed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're about to get into it. Yeah. And Rezzy just wants answers.
Yeah.
He wants accountability. Yeah, maybe you're right. They do have a falling. This we'll get to it. They're going to have a falling out here. And Vince's logic, of course, is very sound and not at all wormy. He looks at John and he thinks John seems to thrive on controversy. And he goes, well, I did say in an earlier chapter that was me too. Fair enough. You got me. But then he's thinking, I understand that. Wanted to create some controversy, get some buzz going, but why does it have to be Vince McMahon in the WWF? Why would you want to attack them? Was John Arezzi, he asks, truly a righteous person? Or did he just have a case of ego? And Vince writes here, if John was going to use me for my money, which again, he's just paying to be an getting advertising for his video store, correct? Point. He'd also heard that he'd heard rumors that John takes advantage of people. And so then it's in his mind, that's not going to be me. I'm going to use him. And I was like, but you don't know. You could also just ask the guy who's your like partner in all this, the newsletter, radio show. You could be like,
using people.
Are you exploiting people? Are you taking their money? But he's going to use John, as he says, to get his foot in the door of sports entertainment. And here's where he thinks that John is wrong. What John doesn't understand is that Vince McMahon, if there was no Vince McMahon, there'd be no wrestling. And if there'd be no wrestling, there'd be no sports entertainment. Okay? You follow? Larry's back.
Sorry.
Want a quick recap?
It's okay. I know where we're at.
Okay. Is Arezzi righteous? He's going to use Arezzi to get his foot in the door. And also, without Vince McMahon, there's no wrestling. And he also, as far as the steroid scandal that has cropped up, Vince is innocent until proven guilty. And again, without Vince McMahon, what would we be even talking about? There would be no wrestling show, no wrestling newsletter. we want to take that guy down. And then finally, flat out in a sentence, he goes, I was a huge fan of Vince.
He was like a father to me.
He'd given me years and years of enjoyment growing up. Vince Russo, who's just an advertiser on the show, he wants to do a show that's fan friendly. The show is going to be like a compliment to the WWF. The wrestlers come on, it's kayfabe. We're not going to be causing any controversy, even though Vince loves that. Rezzy wants to do fucking 60 minutes. And now he's talking about, Donahue, Rivera, all the news outlet, all the talk shows are talking about this steroid case. And this is in 2002. And I can't remember, what was Vince's opinion then in like 2007 or whatever it was, Rope Opera. Was it 2007? His opinion about Vince changed at all? I know now he's put out, essentially, if everything's true, he's like, that's depraved or whatever. I don't think he used the word depraved, but
I don't remember his fucking attitude towards them.
Well, at this time in 2002, he sees all these people coming out. Oh, in 2002, but also in 1992, all these people are coming out. They're accusing Vince McMahon of rape and other outlandish charges. Vince McMahon had a television announcer. They were showering together. Vince is a blatant homosexual. Keep in mind that's not a known homosexual.
If I saw something like that, I'd call the authorities.
Then he finds out that John Arezzi is feeding all the stuff he hears from the wrestlers to the New York Post, Phil Mushnick. And now Vince Russo is becoming a little bit like a young Corey Feldman in 2016. I'm going to get this reference in here. He's like, why is the dark media attacking Vince McMahon? What is the grander conspiracy? Why are we not giving this man his day in court, even though he is going to be in court and win on a technicality? Why? Why are they trying to crucify? Also, again, he repeats over and over, there would be no wrestling. I can't wrap my mind around. Why are these guys doing it? Don't they know that if he's gone, wrestling goes away forever? So, he then gets real wormy where he's like, well, I can't, even though I don't like any of this that's going on, I can't sever my relationship with him right now, because that would just, then what would I do? I'd be nowhere. I got to get a little bit closer to the wrestling business. And he just wants to be convinced. The thing a lot of dumb people do, where they have all the evidence laid out in front of me and they go, convince me. Show me the facts. Prove me wrong. He goes again. McMahon accusers. They're saying Vince raped a female referee in the back of his limo. They said Pat Patterson violated ring boys. They said that it was like a
I saw Pat Patterson with his left arm on the kid's shoulder and his right hand in his crotch.
They talked about sexually abusing midgets. Brett stands up in Donahue. No, boo! A WWF referee with a foot fetish? That's
it was bizarre.
A referee with a foot fetish. That's one of the many crimes he puts in there. Has Vince, at this point in the year of our Lord 2025, figured out what else was going on with that man? Mel Phillips.
Yeah, I would assume so.
You think so? Okay.
I would hope so.
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry.
What do you think, Larry? Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he kind of just goes, a referee with a foot fetish. I assume he's talking
Right.
about
You don't think he knows about the cream team, you mean?
at this point, I guess. And then he's like, so is he going to be like, he's going to do like the Downey thing from Conan where somebody's talking about Mel Phillips and he's like, the foot fetish guy? We're talking about the same guy. Somewhat underground channel called. So then he wants Saved Vince wants to explain dirt sheets. And he writes, by the way, I was about to fucking go off on all these guys. That was old Vince. You should have seen it. I had written all this stuff about every single one of them. But then I was like, what's the point? He just has this one thing that bothers him. They never have correct sources, and they never ask him personally. Okay? So he can at least deny it. And even if he did, they'd still put in the other stuff that was said to them by the other guys. And he thinks a lot of people just have an axe to grind against him, which is the real reason for me being labeled a racist, by the way. And these guys, these newsletter guys, they present their opinion as fact. Oh, so they write, Vince Russo is an imbecile. That's not true. You need to be writing. It's so funny. He's reading Dave write, Vince Russo's an imbecile at some point. Does he know it? He's like, what Dave needs to be writing is that, in my opinion, Vince Russo is an imbecile. Got to throw that. This is not fact. Do not read this as fact.
He can't glean that just from what's being presented.
You confuse the reader when you state your opinion as fact. You cannot just write Vince Russo's a shithead. You have to write, in my opinion, Vince Russo's a shithead. Then the reader knows, oh, this is Dave talking. He's not presenting as he knows for a fact that Vince Russo is a shit. So we should probably be clear on all of our talking with him. In our opinion, Vince Russo is very dumb. Another thing that's bothering him, he's back to old Vince. He's calling it the Crucified Vince Tour. All these guys are taking their jabs at him. No one was even there to defend Vince and all these at the Donahue show or on the radio show, and they had the other wrestlers on. No one's telling Vince's side of the story. It's wrong. And then he goes, John used to wear these shaded glasses. You could never look into his eyes. Didn't he do this in the second book where he'd create things to be like, I don't trust this person. There's just something off about it, so he can warrant his awful, wormy behavior. And he goes, I'm not talking about, just to be clear, I'm not talking about you wear eyeglasses, you go outside, they become sunglasses, you go back inside and they're not sunglasses. No, these were sunglasses all the time. He thinks he's shady. Or as he quotes, they were permanently shaded. So he talks about how Billy Graham went off script. And when he saw everybody else talking about like sex abuse, Billy Graham was there to talk about steroids, but he was like, yeah, I know about sex abuse too. And he was like, well, that means he's just piling on. Well, then he hears that Vince McMahon is going to hold a steroid symposium and talk about the new testing that they're going to do on steroids. Just explain his side. Well, he knows that Arezzi's not going to get invited, right? And then he hears that Meltzer was invited. In fact, he says Meltzer talked to Vince Russo and said that he was invited and that he had graciously declined.
This is why Russo's so fucking, baby brained. Right. These guys didn't even go when they're, talking about it.
You're not hearing both sides of the story. And he says,
fucking, puff piece, bullshit presentation.
He said that Phil Mushnick and Dave Meltzer said to him, or that he had heard why they weren't going, was that because they just knew that Vince would be lying, and it wasn't worth going there to get his side of the story because it's just going to be bullshit PR, and they're not reporting PR; they're going to report news and facts. And he's just gobsmacked at that. Oh, so he's going to be lying. So he says Arezzi tells him, hey, nobody from the wrestling media was invited to attend this thing. And John, his friend, says to him, I think what's going on and why wrestling media is not going, or why they weren't really invited, was because Vince wants to work the mainstream media, get a good puff piece out. He doesn't want any Meltzers or anybody like that kind of calling him out. What would that do, you know? And Vince again is like, what? He's going to, so he's going to work us, but then he's going to, we're going to call him out. He just can't believe that these people have this opinion of Vince McMahon. So he's nickel and diming his customers to death at Will of the Thrills video. I don't know how you nickel and dime somebody to death on the
Those rewind fees.
Yeah, you didn't rewind. $5. You were late. It's $10 for every day you're late. So he's going, oh my gosh, my business is going to collapse. John is like, now my out was this thing, to get involved with the WWF somehow, like parallel to it with this radio show, even though I haven't told John that. And so how am I going to do that? He's about to blow it all up by he's constantly talking to Mushnick and all this. Like, now I'm going to lose the video store. I'm going to lose this inn. Without John's knowledge, I contacted the WWF headquarters. He talks to Steve Planamenta, their public relations department. And he's like begging, what's his name here? Planamenta, begging him, let me go to the symposium. I want to do a fair story. Please. And he's going, aren't you the guy that works with John Arezzi? No. I mean, we're not like that. I'm not John. He keeps pleading. So then he claims that he gets the invite, and he just wants to make it clear this was not him going, was not about kissing Vince McMahon's butt, kissing the butt of the WWF. It's about taking a non-jaded journalistic approach. Okay? I'm not going to be anybody's judge or jury. I just want to know what the truth is. I can't believe he writes this. I just wanted to get a chance to meet Vince McMahon. And he writes, Saved Vince comes up and goes, if I wanted to succeed in the wrestling business in the capacity I envisioned, I always envisioned Vince McMahon was going to be involved one way or the other.
Oh my God.
So it is like he's doing all this dancing and see where he's like, this isn't what you think it is. I had admired Vince McMahon from a distance since I was a teenager.
This is just sad.
And then now, being born again, Vince Russo believes in 2002 that our plan had been laid out for us. Like when you're born, your plan's laid out by God.
Mm-hmm.
The minute we poked our heads out of our mother's wombs. And that God wanted him to go on this journey. And this is kind of like his elevator pitch of like his crazy life, where it's like, from a crazy mother to a Kiss fanatic to a controversial student journalist in Evansville to meeting my soulmate to deep depression to crooked professors to being a father to owning a video store, 2 video stores, Vincent's World of Wrestling, Vince McMahon, the Rock and Sock Connection, surviving a tragedy, being in the middle of a screw job in Canada, taste of hell, post-concussion syndrome, being sued, opening my business, again, a 2-year turbulent relationship with a friend ending, leaving TNA, coming back to TNA, leaving TNA, coming back to TNA. He really writes all those out. To glorifying God's name
A
right here.
2-year turbulent relationship with a
Jeff
friend.
Jarrett. I think that means Jeff Jarrett, right? Or is that Dogman?
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
I like that if you go through this, it's like he had a crazy mother. Okay, who doesn't? You know, a lot of people have that. Being a Kiss fanatic, that's not interesting. Being a fan of a band, a controversial student journalist, okay, kind of interesting. Meeting my soulmate, okay. Deep depression, could be. Crooked professors, not really true. Seems like it was just the way of things. Being a father, sure. Owning a video store, not interesting. 2 video stores, not interesting. Seems like he's just adding words to get the list longer. Vicious Vincent's World of Wrestling, 1 match, failed training, not interesting. And then it's just, yes. I like that he goes surviving a tragedy. He's talking about Owen Hart in that.
That's what I was trying to think.
Yeah, that's not
Except
survival.
it's before the screw job.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're right. So I
But it's after Rock and Sock, so he's out of order himself.
You think that? Well, that's the post-concussion syndrome.
There you go.
Being sued. And then the fact that he writes out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 entrances and exits to TNA is like, well, isn't my crazy? This journey God has put me on. I think we're talking about the second book. Is like you just can't hold down a job. He says, he's back to regular Vince, old Vince. I was inspired to read a book that somebody had given me. He says it's by Napoleon Hill.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh no.
It was called Think and Grow Rich.
Oh man. This is the stuff Punk really got into, and I forget what the baseball player from the California Angels, that straight edge guy, like
Yeah.
in the early you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like circa 2010 maybe.
Punk got into this?
Yes.
Like self-help business stuff?
Yes.
Wow.
This whole thing, it's about like giving yourself positive affirmations and how you're God's greatest creature, and like you should blow yourself for waking up every day and being on Earth. And
Well, he says in that book, there's a story in it about some nobody, Edward C. Barnes, who works with Thomas Edison. And,
C.J. Wilson, sorry.
oh, okay. Barnes envisioned working with Edison, not for him. And he's sitting in his video store. This is a very grim picture. Vince is sitting in his failing video store reading a, get rich. Positive mental. Think positively, grow positively. And he's thinking, I want to work with Vince, not for Vince. And it was like, you worked for him. You did not work with him. You worked for him. He was your boss. And he says, this has to work. This going to the symposium and getting his foot in the door, it has to work. He has no plan B. Keep in mind, remember, etc., I had a family. I wrote, I do. We all do. We all have that in our minds as you write these little adventures you have. It's not about me anymore. I have a wife and kid at home. They depend on me. He gets the call. Go meet Vince. This is the last one. You ready? We can get to 100.
Sure.
We can get through this. We can do this. Steve Planamenta says John is not welcome. Okay. And he brings up again that he's not there to kiss Vince's ass. He just is saying the jury's out on Vince, okay? Why are we all playing judge and jury on this guy? The wrestling smarts think that they have a witch hunt on their hand. They're trying to hang Vince before he's even had his time to say anything. So he goes through all that kind of hand wringing of, I accepted this because I'm I'm not a journalist, but I'm somebody with integrity. I just wanted to see Vince's side. Okay, that's all. So he breaks the news to Rezzy. He calls the Rezzy. He's like, I called WWF behind your back. I'm gonna go there and listen to Vince. As strange as this may sound, Vince writes, he couldn't understand why Planamenta would invite Vince and not him. come on, Oresi. You're a known media guy. This is just like a video clerk that called him. Was begging on the phone. And even Russo writes here, he sees that maybe Planamenta, maybe WWF thought, well, maybe, we split up these two guys, the show ends or something, they have a falling out, we're going to cause a little chaos. Divide and conquer, Vince writes. So, March 24th, 1992, he drives to the Plaza Hotel in New York City. He's nervous. I'm just only looking for the facts. Let's see. What does he say? And he does this thing where he's like, did I personally see Vince rape a woman? No. Did I personally see anybody inject themselves with steroids? No. Did I see Pat Patterson come on to midgets? No. Is that why would this be the bar? Why would you have seen this? I wasn't witness to any of this. I just want facts, not allegations.
I'm anxious to learn, just as you are.
Yeah. Do you remember that book, Think and Grow Rich? That's a Vince Russo sentence for you. Remember Think and Grow Rich, the thing I brought up a couple pages ago that I was reading? Well, this was my make or break opportunity. I knew I was going to happen. I knew it in my heart. And it did. And then he says about the symposium, was it a dog and pony show? Sure. But you had to give them the benefit of the doubt.
No, you don't.
And he brings up again how it's mainly there to gather facts for our listeners and readers, not to sway them in either direction. And he also says he recorded the entire thing. And also, he goes, small side note, Steve Planamenta did personally introduce me to Vince McMahon. And what stood out about meeting Vince McMahon? His presence. From the first day, I could just feel Vince's power. Everything and everybody changed the moment he walked into that room. This guy had presence. Not even Gene Simmons has this much presence.
Oh,
so, he's back at the video store. This is chapter 19, my showdown with Phil Mushnick, our last chapter here. He says his routine. This is how he figures this. He's got Vince is always about, this isn't a lie because I'm going to provide all these details so you know exactly why I would even come across anything like this. His routine would go get coffee from the bakery, go get a New York Post from the stationery store, and then he adds in this thing. I never really liked the guy who owned the stationery store. I think it was because he had a really bad wig.
Okay.
That plus the fact that his wife was cheap. Man, that gal would nickel and dime you to death. If you were a penny short, you weren't getting that payday bar. It's like, Vince. Why is Vince walking into what is this, like a bodega, like a newspaper stand, and he doesn't have $5 at this time to buy paper, some food. He's just bringing in $2, and they're like, papers, the payday's this, the paper's this. And he's like,
Yeah, you don't know how to keep adequate change on you as an adult.
How many times is he? It's a point that it's an annoying thing, and they're like feuding. And he's like, I'm short a quarter. I'm short $1. Why are you nickel and diming me, asking me to pay what is on the price tag? Hey, remember? I told you that Phil Mushnick was personally invited by Vince McMahon. Do you remember that? Well, then he wrote about that symposium in the New York Post, and I read about it, and it was wrong. I had recorded the whole thing. And this Mushnick guy, he took everything Vince said out of context. And Vince Russo's going, this is how the media is. They're liars. I know what was really said in that room. That was not his intention. When he said that dumb thing, that's not what Vince McMahon meant. I was there. And I'd spent 4 years of my life studying to be a journalist, and now it's smacking him in the face. He says, if you're going to be a journalist, you got to bend the truth a little just to get your point across. Did you know that's what journalism is? Bending the truth, getting your opinion out there. So he calls Phil Mushnick. And he calls John first. First he calls his friend John. How can you align yourself with a piece of shit like Mushnick? Did you read his column today? It was all bullshit, every last word. And I have the tape to prove. There's all like swearing symbols in this. Because he doesn't swear, remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
He went back and edited that. And of course, this is another thing. It was true where he got into it with what was it? Who was it in WCW? Was it JG Dillon? Where we were like, oh, it's true. He really did scream at this guy. Was that him?
Wait, who?
In WCW, didn't he? Remember he told about like how he was, traipsing around the hallway, listening in offices, and he got mad at JJ Dillon.
Or Sullivan or Terry Taylor. I couldn't remember who his paranoid delusions were of.
John's response, there wasn't one. And even if he did say anything, Vince isn't going to listen. So just, let's be clear. So, this is what a Resi does. Resi goes to the video store. I guess because he got a call from Vince being like, you piece of shit. So he goes to Will Throw Video to be like, what the fuck? The gall. The Spaldings on this guy, Vince writes. How dare he walk into my store? My place of business. What nerve. Smoky glass lenses and all.
Could you imagine you're in a video store and the guy behind the counter is getting into an argument about wrestling steroids with like some fat like piece of shit in sunglasses?
Who the fuck is Phil Mushnick? And I was like, Vince, you called him. You called him angrily. And he's your newsletter partner, the radio show, whatever. Yeah, I guess he's going to come down to the store and be like, what's the problem? What's going on? I'm a piece of shit for aligning with Phil Mushnick. So he's standing there. He sees Phil. He sees Resi going into his video store, and he goes, I can't believe it. Are you fucking kidding me or what? Vince, we have to talk. Hey, he goes, Vince, let me just make a phone call. Okay, maybe we can figure this out. He's like, who is he going to call? So he picks up the video store phone, and he calls a number, and he gives it over to Vince. And Vince goes, hello. And Phil Mushnick says, I hear you have a problem with me. Who is this? Phil Mushnick. He said growl, so that's how I'm going to do it. Yeah, I got a problem with you. You're a fucking liar, I screamed. Silence on the other end. I read your shitty column today. It's all bullshit. You know it and I know it. I was there. I taped every word McMahon said. You twist around every quote to make him look like a liar. And you are some kind of righteous hero. You're full of shit, you piece of garbage.
What a bootlegging clown.
I don't even remember Mushnick's comeback. I know he had one, but it landed on Helen Keller's ears.
That's convenient.
Yep. Within minutes. So minutes. I hung up. Now he turns to face John Orezi, who's, he says, as white as Casper. John just gathered his stuff from the office. So I guess John has an office in the video store. Another weird thing for Vince Russo to go, why are you here? And then Bob Rasman, a sports writer for the New York Daily News, called me to get my side of this steroid symposium. And what happened with Phil Mushnick? He explained everything. And what Rassman writes in the Daily News is outlining how Vince McMahon had bought me out. Hey, Vince, can I get your side of the story? Okay, they immediately writes an article. It's like, yeah, this guy's a stooge. Oh yeah. Vince is gonna pay me off. Vince Nobody Russo, to help clear his name. He's just like, ugh. Well, guess what I found out? Mushnick and Rassman were good friends. They were
It's a
journalism.
screw job.
Yeah.
Everything's a screw job.
I love it. He sees it in black and white the next day, where he's like, "Wait a minute." And he denies at least outward, like even maybe if he knows inside the deal, outwardly he's going, "Yes, I know I wanted to meet the guy and work with the guy, and yes, I know what was really going on." I don't know why. I think we talked about this. Why does he go through all this rigmarole to convince who? No one's buying it.
I don't know.
Makes those people that buy the super chats like, that's freaky. $5 to be like, you saved the Attitude Era. 5 hard-earned dollars to do that. Blue-collar people, no doubt. So, yeah, there you go. We got JCW this week.
Yeah, I feel so. I suppose it's just because I'm sick. I feel like I didn't laugh at all tonight. I don't know if Vince is just sucking it out of me or if I'm just.
No. It also does. Look, if you can see here, I have a blanket over me. The weather took a turn when it went from sub-zero to no jacket weather, and that my body. I woke up, feet hurt, back hurts, arms hurt, knuckles hurt, hair hurt, swinging temps. That don't do nothing for me. My nose is running here. I don't know if you can see. I'm just like, I just want to go to bed. So I was also low energy. At least to myself, I feel very tired and worn. Outside of that, though, we'll get back in better spirits. And now, Gus, also, you have to watch JCW in front of your family next Thursday on Christmas.
Don't make me do that.
No, I'm not going to do that on Christmas. Come on.
Does anybody here have a laptop so I can do this? It's JCW. It's lunacy. Vince Russo. Tried to explain to him that Vince Russo's back in the business.
Oh, my God.
Do you remember the Attitude Era? Wait till you see the cutie with a booty.
She's in pain, though.
No,
but she also took a power bomb through a table.
Guys, just so you understand what's going on here, she's in constant chronic pain. Okay, and she's also high, incredibly high, because of the pain.
But a hug could hurt worse than being hit, is what I'm understanding.
Yes, Dad. Before you ask about the hey nanny nanny, it does also hurt. Vince Russo addressed this in his podcast. She tried to give a blowjob. I can't believe this was on his podcast.
Hey, nanny.
She tried to give a blowjob, and it took her 3 days to recover. Now, here's your stuffed animals.
Got a lot of thoughts going on in the mind.
I'm going to get that. Everything's chance. I'm so happy with that line. Here. I'm thinking a lot. He's like he's in it.
Who?
Al, like he's on occasionally, but it seems like he's on a lot now.
On Russo's show?
Yeah.
We didn't...
England, and they're not letting him travel with them, or what the deal is.
We didn't talk about our boy Hannibal feuding with Ric Flair.
Oh, okay. What did Hannibal say that pissed everybody off?
He just attacked Flair for the whole street drugs thing.
Oh, okay.
He's just like, why the fuck would you say that?
Oh, so it's just an easy target for Rick.
And then Flair got offended, yeah. And, it's two stupid people. So this was a fortuitous pause. Screen.
Yeah. Looking suspicious
at us.
No. Yeah, he's looking right at our column of screens, and I don't know about these guys. I also don't know what time it is right now.
I was going to take 5 minutes of random people's thoughts about Vince Russo.
Oh yeah, let's see what Al can say. I'm sure
We know Al likes him.
There's no murder. Well, what are you going to tell a story about?
Right.
You know, it's kind of a bad situation.
You know, that's one of my problems. Some people are gifted at bullshit.
My hair's gonna look
And
like
he's
when
definitely
I'm
gifted
not
at bullshit,
thrilled
brother,
about
because
it.
he keeps getting jobs and keeps getting the positions. I'm not a good politician. I know that's my problem, too. I know that I speak my mind, and that gets me in trouble, too, because you got to candy coat shit when you're dealing with TV people. But I just can't do it, man. And that's probably the reason I'm not back in the WWF, is because even the short time that I was.
I mean, this is older. He doesn't have his implants yet. He's clacking hard.
Yeah.
Was doing the booking up there.
This is the Jake that pulled me close into his chest.
Yeah.
Vince was constantly
like?
going, Jake, the perception is
I don't remember.
these people are intimidated by you, and
He was
they
huge,
think
though.
that you think they're stupid. And I said, well, you know, Vince, I do think they're fucking stupid. They don't know a goddamn thing about wrestling, and you're letting them fucking run shit. And that's not the way you deal business, you know.
I have to ask your thoughts on Vince Russo in general.
Well, you know, he obviously had a successful run with when he was working with Vince McMahon. And then when he wasn't working with Vince McMahon, he was never that successful.
His earlobes are crazy to me.
Yeah. Could you imagine if he'd been a wrestler and the cauliflower, like the ears would have been just so fucking crazy looking with cauliflower, you know? Like I'm talking like an amateur
the
wrestler.
attached earlobe, though.
Yeah, no, that's a long attached. That's long.
I don't see attached earlobes much. That's a real
No, and if
freak
they
thing.
are, it comes quickly. It's not that long.
Yeah.
So you know that if
Well,
you run into that in the world, you're talking to probably a Meltzer relative, I imagine.
That's just what happened. He didn't fit well with WCW. I don't think Vince Russo understood the big picture of wrestling at all. I think
Doc,
that
for that Meltzer roundtable, we can ask
you know,
him about
I think he was very
Is there an update on that?
quiet, brother. What's that about?
very good at coming up with ideas. And there were times where I would watch when he was with TNA, I would watch interviews and I go, you know, for certain characters, I thought he was very good at scripting the interviews with them. So I go, you know, he's talented there. With the women, I thought he made them all trashy. So I thought that was like a negative.
Yeah, Dave kind of got real
in the big picture in TNA, it was far more negative than positive. And WCW, it was really negative. I think when he came in, I think it was salvageable, but he went in the direction that was not going to save it. He went to, you know, I'm not saying you go with like long matches and things like that or traditional wrestling, but when every match is a run in and nothing means anything and you're just trying to hit people over the head with stuff, you're going to burn out on it real quick. And also,
he's learned.
He was catering to a different audience, and it was just a different time. And he didn't have Vince McMahon. You know, remember, when you have Vince McMahon, you have a guy with decades of experience who can tweak
He had
those.
the filter.
Generation of kids.
The
Right?
filter.
Yeah, that's what Russo hates
Oh, the
hearing
filter.
about. The
Yeah.
filter.
Yeah. Well, now Violent J is his
Poor
filter.
Vince Russo, when he was in, did you have to deal with him at all?
Oh, god damn it.
Must.
I was getting curious about JJ. And then I'll stop.
Yes. And Vince one day came to my office door and cut a promo on me. And what was objectionable about it was my secretary was sitting out there and another staff was sitting a few feet away. And if he had closed the door and vented, would have been one thing, but he stood in the doorway leaning on the door and cut a promo on me. And used brass language and then turned and stormed away. That's what I took exception with. That's what was totally unprofessional, especially the where and when he did it. And I didn't have any use for him, as I didn't really have much use for Bischoff. And I blame Brad Siegel for allowing that to happen. A number of years went by, and I don't know how many years ago it was, but there was a convention in New York, and they brought in a bunch of guys. Dory and Terry were there. God, it was like the who's who.
And well, it's okay to say, kind of like nod and kind of make a motion with your hand and go, okay.
And they, and myself, Baby Doll, and Vince Russo.
Get to Vince.
It's like 3 managers. And I remember the promoter came back. I want to put you and Vince Russo.
Like Jimmy Stewart on Carson.
Well, you know what my reference always is when Gilbert does Old Groucho on Dick Cavett. Which is similar to this.
I know. We're going to get all the youngsters with all of our references.
Never been difficult in my life. I said, I just asked one thing. Okay, put us there with 3 managers.
Yeah, you were at a fucking convention because that's what all you old carny fucks do, and you still get heat with each other, but you won't do anything about it because you're 1,000 years old. Right? Didn't we just have this with Brett and Goldberg last month?
Yeah, they don't run into each other ever. They always just keep.
They were
keep
going to, remember? And one of them canceled.
Cancel. Lovely. Well, I mean, come on, Bill Goldberg. Who we got in that? Bill Goldberg probably destroys Brett. Brett's like a
I don't think they were
pudding now. But if they did, if they really got their druthers up, I think Bill Goldberg has I mean, they're both severely concussed. You know, what if it's like Rocky and Apollo, and they both hit each other at the same time, and they just both drop, drooling? You know, that was the final concussion for both of them.
In the fencing position.
that's what turns into the painting. Paint me that. Right. Blank parallel. I want that painting. Okay. Bye. See you at Lunacy. Yay. Yeah. It's Wilson again. That was fun. I bet it was the best episode ever. You know what you can do to help the workers out? Rate, review, all that good stuff on whatever app you're listening to. Tell us how much you love us. If you want to contact us, it's theworkersclubshow@gmail.com. We got a YouTube, The Workers Club Podcast, a Blue Sky, theworkersclub.org, and we have a Discord where the invite link is left in various places. I'm sure you can find it. That's it. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Bye.
Smile and love each other.